All right, guys, what's up? So, I'm about to go for my morning run. I've been thinking about a lot of things, man. Especially there's a subject I want to talk about. It's pretty difficult, but the thing is, we sing about it, we dance about it, but we don't talk about it. We're afraid to talk about it because we don't understand it. It's a tough subject, to be quite honest with you. It's pretty tough, and us human, when we don't understand something, we run away from it. We distance ourselves from it. So in this video, we're going to talk about cheating. Cheating is a big thing. It's a huge thing. Man, when you hear people getting divorced or relationship didn't work out, it's because of cheating. It's never mainly about financial issues. It's always about someone cheating. All right, so I have to say, we're not going to, let's say, do the blame thing or judge or say, oh, women cheat more or men cheat more. We're not going to go there, okay? What we're going to talk about the system, because guys, our system control 95% of our decisions. Now, it's not going to be an excuse for people to go ahead and start cheating left and right, okay? But we have to understand it. If you understand why people cheat or how it occurs in the brain, then you'll have a better understanding when the feeling kicked in, because it's all about a feeling, right? You feel like cheating, you want to cheat, and when we feel a certain way, we usually take action, okay? So understanding it will actually probably most likely help, okay? So let's go on. I have my notes, by the way, because it's a sensitive subject. I don't want to go all over the place with it, so I have my notes. Guys, let me tell you something. I've been writing notes since maybe before the pandemic. A lot of notes on my phone, maybe like 1,000 something. Whenever I have like a special thought pop up in my head, I just go ahead and yank out my phone and write it down, because sometimes you want to remember, especially good ideas, so take advantage of your notepad on the phone or notebook or whatever you call it. So take advantage of it, because it'll help you in the long run. When you write down your thoughts, when you write down good ideas, it could be a year from now. You could always go back and take a look at it, because don't think good ideas always gonna pop up left and right. You're not gonna remember, but if you have it on a note thing, at least you'll remember it. So take advantage of your phone for that. Don't just use it for social media. So as I was saying, you can go to any country where they have strict rules, okay? If someone cheat, let's say, they delete that person or they would stone the person or something like that. But yet, people still find ways to cheat. That's how powerful the emotion is, or that's how powerful the urge to cheat is. Think about it. We're afraid of death. We all afraid of death. We think about it every single day, especially when we're getting older. So if someone willing to put death aside just to satisfy the sexual instinct, it should tell you how powerful it actually is, okay? So it's something to keep in mind, because we're going to go down that rabbit hole, all right? So cheating has a lot of different factors, a lot of different components. It's not just, how do you say it? It's not just, let's say in the beginning of a relationship, the person decides to say, okay, I'm going to cheat. Or the person think about like, oh, in the future, I'm going to cheat on my partner. No, none of it doesn't work that way. People don't usually think about stuff like that. And some people can't even picture themselves cheating on their partner at all. Zero. Because it's not that, let's say, people want to cheat on their partner, or people aim to cheat on their partner. Some people love their partner. Some people want to be with their partner. Some people don't want to destroy their families. But the sexual urge, the sexual instinct does not care about what you want at all. Zero. You could want a good family, you could want to be happy or whatever, but the sexual instinct has its own motives, okay? So different factors. First thing that's gonna happen, let's say you're in a relationship, a long-term relationship or a long-term marriage, you've been married for a while. In the beginning, like everything else, everything new, anything new, you always gonna feel that excitement. You always gonna feel good. But with time, it will fade away. How did it happen? It's the activation of our receptors. What is receptors, guys? Receptors or receivers. I made a video about it, so you should go and check it out. So receptors help us receive information from the environment. Okay, for example, our five senses, for instance, they help us receive, they help us navigate our environment. It's the reason you could taste, you can feel, you can touch, you can see, you can smell, a lot of different things because of our receptors. But the problem is, once we expose ourselves or once we expose the receptors to something, after a while, the receptors get used to it. You understand? It's something that I always talk about in my videos. We are adaptable creatures. We get used to things very fast. So receptors, once they're exposed to something, they get used to it and they stop responding to the thing. For example, people, they usually spray themselves with perfume, cologne. If you spray yourself, once you spray yourself, okay, you're gonna smell it for a couple of minutes. You're gonna know what it smells like, whatever you spray on your body. But after a while, you're not gonna be able to smell it anymore, right? But if someone, let's say, approach you or next to you, they'll be able to smell it because it's something new to them. So the receptor activate. Their receptor activate. Your receptors did activate, but it get used to it. It's the reason you couldn't smell it anymore. But someone new, their receptors will just switch on. So do you understand what I'm saying? So when someone's married or in a long-term relationship, maybe 2 years, 3 years, the excitement will fade away. So, before people get married, they're thinking about marriage like as if it's something rosy. They're going to be happy forever. They're going to start a family. They're preparing their wedding. They're doing so many different things, which activating the mind, stimulating the mind, evoking their emotion is the reason people usually can't wait to get married. It's more for the preparation. They don't think about the outcome or what's going to happen or how they're going to feel in the future. They don't think about for some reason, we don't know how you're going to feel in the future. I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. I have no idea. You see, so it's the thing when people go ahead with their preparation, they think they're going to be happy and they're doing all kinds of things, exciting their system. So they think the feeling going to stay forever, but they don't realize that the excitement is coming from the anticipation, or I should say the preparation, or the how do you call it? Every single thing that the person is doing, let's say preparing a wedding or picking the right table, picking the right food, exciting the system. It evoked the system for the person to be excited or for the person to experience the dopamine. Are you with me? But the thing is, after the reception, the wedding, and they go back to their home or they have a home or whatever, the receptors not gonna fade away just like that, because now you have the sexual desire, the sexual instinct kicking in. They touch each other, they kiss each other all the times. You can always tell when someone just start dating or when someone just got married or something like that. You can always tell because they touch each other a lot, they kiss each other a lot, and the way they talk to each other, like, oh honey, you you get my point. It's always that lovey-dovey thing in the beginning. But with time, with years kicking in, of course, what's going to happen? The receptors going to stop responding. So the touching going to stop. The kissing going to stop. It's not going to be the same way anymore. And the sexual feeling going to stop. It's going to fade away. It's going to fade away, gradually fade away with time. 3 years, 4 years, it's going to fade away eventually. So what's going to happen next? Let me look at my note. Boredom will kick in. Boredom. The thing is, boredom always knocking on our door, man, for some reason. Or boredom always patiently waiting for the excitement to fade away. And while the excitement's starting to fade away, boredom knocking on our door. It's always going to happen with every single thing. Okay? With every single thing, you have to expect boredom. Once you have something that stimulates your system, or you excited about something, once the excitement is gone, boredom will kick in. And when boredom comes in, it comes with a emptiness. It's the reason people feel lonely. Even when they live with someone, they still feel empty. They still feel lonely. They feel like, okay, they don't feel love anymore. Do you see the problem? It's because of the receptors. The receptors not being stimulated anymore. So do you understand what I'm saying? So what do you call it? The emptiness is something we can't handle. Boredom is something we cannot handle because it's painful. We're able to go inside of our mind to think, and it's something most people hate doing. So when we face the painful sensation of loneliness, stress, it's the reason you're gonna find couples always arguing. Arguing is a big thing. You always gonna find couples fighting each other for the simplest things they used to do before, things that never used to bother them before, things they used to ignore about their partner, now becoming a problem. Arguing all the times. Why do they argue is the thing. Why do we argue? Well, most couples, they argue because of to stimulate their system, because they're bored and they're stressed out and they need to lash out. So they go ahead and argue to activate the system, to evoke the system, to activate the adrenaline. It's some deep stuff I'm telling you guys, man. It's very important for you to listen and try to understand. Okay? So now, don't you see when, let's say, after an argument, people will have their makeup sex or something like that, and makeup sex always happen to be the best? Why is that? Because of the stimulation, because of the adrenaline inside of the system, and the mind able to translate it into positive once the sex happening, obviously, because they could be arguing for 1 second and next minute they making love, they touching each other, and they having that wild stuff because of the interpretation of the mind. It's anxiety is a part of sex, in case you didn't know. Okay, so it's something to keep in mind. Where are we? Let me take a look at my note. I don't want to go all over the place with this, man, because it's a pretty deep subject. And I'm only giving you guys the top layer, okay? So, sexual instinct suppression, okay? Guys, our sexual instinct is the most powerful thing in the world. In the beginning of the video, I mentioned where you have a lot of countries where they have strict rules where if they caught someone cheating, delete right on the spot. But people will bypass death to find ways to cheat. That's how powerful the sexual instinct actually is. So it's something you must register in your head. Okay? And the weirdest thing is, the emotion we resist. Okay, let me say it. The emotion we resist always, the emotion we resist always come back 10 times stronger, because the more you suppress something, the more it's going to come back to the surface aggressively. So when people, of course, they trying to resist themselves from, like, let's say cheating or from doing something bad, the more the person resists, the more the person going to want to do it, because it's going to sit in the back of the mind. So do you understand? So we always want what we can have. When we can have something, we sit and think about it all day. How can we get it? How can we have it? It literally stuck in the back of our mind until we achieve it. So do you see the problem? The more we resist ourselves from getting something or wanting something or achieving some sort of things, the more we going to want to do it. And the more the emotion will come to the surface eventually, aggressively, okay? So let's move on to the next point, because I'm going to connect all of them together. Sexual exploration. A lot of people in their younger age, they didn't get to experience a lot of things. They let go a lot of things because they wanted to live, let's say, not the good life, but you know how we have culture, we have certain beliefs, so we want to do the right thing, okay? Let's put it like that. So a lot of things they did not get to explore. But with time, with boredom, with emptiness, with loneliness, the sexual urges, the sexual exploration will kick in. People are going to want to do different things because they're not going to want to do the same thing with the same person all the time. People don't talk about it because obviously many different reasons, because of culture and different emotions and stuff like that. Let's say shame, guilt, and there's another emotion, judgment. Okay, so people don't talk about stuff like that. They're gonna keep it in their head, punishing them instead of expressing it, or instead of, I would say, understanding it. Because if you understand it, you'll know, okay, well, it's just my subconscious floating some sexual information, so it's fine, whatever. It can be ignored then. But most people have no idea, zero idea of what's going on inside of the system, believe it or not. So usually they act on it, okay? So sexual exploration will kick in. People are going to want to explore new things, do crazy things. They're not going to want to do the same thing all the time because it's going to be boring, okay? So, of course, let me check my notes, man. I gotta check my notes because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go all over the place with you guys. Of course, yes. Sexual exploration, especially like when people want to do crazy, or especially if they're watching crazy videos and stuff like porno, they're gonna want to do certain things. Like they're gonna want to experience new stuff. They're gonna want to try new things. But the problem is, once you're in a relationship, once you're married, you can't. Because if you go ahead and explore certain things or go try something new, if you do it with your partner, then on the back of the mind, you're going to feel like you're being judged. Especially for females, it's 10 times worse. Females usually suppress that emotion very hard because of culture, because no one wants to be judged. You know, it's part of us. It's part of human nature. We do not want to be judged. So It's the reason I would say women, they suppress their emotion very hard because they do not want to be judged. They do not want to be called names, and they do not want their partner to perceive them a certain way. So they just hold on to that emotion. Okay? Now, as I said earlier, once you hold on to emotion for a while, it's like a pressure cooker. It eventually going to emerge to the surface aggressively. Aggressively means the urge going to be insane. So do you see the problem? Now, the next step going to be stimulus and response. Okay? Once we stimulate our system, we're going to respond to it. It's the reason I always talk about thoughts, emotion, and action. Okay? So once we have a thought, something stimulate our thought, or something stimulate our sexual instinct, we're going to feel the emotion. And if, let's say, the person doesn't have proper self-control, proper awareness, the person going to act on it. Act on the feeling right on the spot. And it's the reason most people cheat, or people can't stop themselves from cheating, because self-control is a big thing. If you're gonna go in a relationship or a marriage, if you don't go with the right state of mind, or with the right discipline, or with the right ability to control the emotion, I guarantee you cheating will happen 100%, because boredom will kick in, emptiness will kick in, a lot of different stimuli in the environment. When you're on social media, you're being stimulated. Or the billboard, you're being stimulated with sexual content. So how do you hold on to that sexual instinct? How do you control the sexual instinct? How do you stop the sexual instinct from triggering or pushing you towards cheating? It's tough. It's hard. It's hard because our environment not helping us, obviously. So how do we resist? How do we control ourselves? It's tough, and it's the reason a lot of people cheat. Everywhere you go, you're gonna find people cheating. And I already told you how powerful the sexual instinct is. You have like remote countries, like, or remote villages where people still cheat. They don't have no billboard, they don't have social media, but they still cheat. So imagine if you have all kinds of stimuli, all kinds of things stimulating your sexual instinct. Controlling the urge, controlling the emotion, gonna be 10 times worse, 10 times harder. So guys, I really hope you guys get some great information from this video. I will make more with a better explanation. I'm just out there walking, about to start running and stuff, and I wanted to express my thought, so I just pull out my camera and make the video. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button for more great content. If you have anything to say, let it out in the comment section. See you next time. Ciao.